Welcome to Life Skills lesson for grade 5. Today we are going to talk about child abuse. As I mentioned, the today lesson child abuse. At the end of the lesson, as a learner, you should able to define the child abuse. What is child abuse? To discuss different forms of child abuse, because child abuse there are different types of child abuse. What are those child abuse forms of child abuse? To list the step that you need to follow in order to report child abuse, to identify the warning sign of child abuse, to list or identify the place where child abuse take place. Okay, grade 5 learners, please listen carefully. Take some notes if it's possible, so that the note will assist you to remind you about child abuse or about lessons that will take place today. I would like to connect the child abuse lesson with the prior knowledge, as you know that child abuse takes place everywhere, at school and outside the school. In other words, in the community as a whole. I will ask you a few questions related to child abuse, and I will expect you to answer my questions, and feel free to ask anything related to the topic. So who can tell me what is child abuse? Okay, child abuse is the wrongful treatment of a child. Someone treat the child with a bad manner or wrong way. It may be in the form of physically, okay, or emotionally, or mentally, or in other words, the child abuse is when someone doing something or failing to do something that result in harm to a child or put a child at the risk of harm. Child abuse can be physically, emotionally, or mentally. Okay, let us have a look in the picture up here. In this picture, the adult or the man trying to hit the young boy. Then the young boy try to avoid the abuse that is take place by the old man. The physical abuse, this occurs when someone does something like the old man. Occurs when someone does something on the purpose to hurt. This old man trying to hurt or harm the young girl, such as hitting, kicking, someone kick you, punching, beating or stretching, shaking violently, or even burning. If someone gives you a dangerous drugs or alcohol or poison, trying to poison you, this is called physically abuse. Okay, let us go to abuse number 2, that was called emotional abuse. The emotional abuse happens when someone consistently says things and behave in the way that conveys to the child that they are inadequate, unloved, worthless, or only value as far as the other person's needs are concerned. Emotional abuse, when someone says something to you that is connected to emotions, that leads to have emotionally. Okay, accusation, when someone accuses you, blame you with maybe something that's happened on your life or on anything but related to your life, that is called emotionally abuse. When someone verbally abuse, say something out, bad names, call you with the bad names, criticize, that is called emotionally abuse. As I mentioned, the types or the form of child abuse before. Every child abuse or any type of form of child abuse affect the personal health. Any child abuse or any form of child abuse have a big effect on the personal health. Some children who are abused have injured that have to be treated at hospital. If someone kicks you and fall you down, the child gets some injured, and there is a need to go to the hospital to treat you. Some children who are abused may not have injured on their bodies or may hide their injured from other people's, but deep down in their life there is a scarcity, maybe lead to depressed, maybe lead to have a depression on their life, have an emotionally crisis, have emotional things that affect their personal health. Many abused children become very excited or sad and have a stomach aches or headache. Some abused children become ill or become ill or feel sad, suffering from a headache, have some stomach aches or headache. Many of them struggle to concentrate at school. If you feel that you are not feeling good, they have in fact the bad effect on the concentration and the school work. Okay, let us say you are facing with the child abuse, form of emotional abuse or physical abuse, someone hitting you or someone treating you or blackmailing you or saying something that you are not feeling good of that things that are abusive. How to deal with with abuse? How to deal with kind of abuse? While the abuse, grade 5, while the abuse is happening, try to get away. If you face with the kind of abuse or any form of child abuse, try to get away. Avoid to be abusive. Learn to say no. Say no to any kind of child abuse. Say stop. If someone treats you bad, don't be ashamed to tell her or him to stop it, so that the other person knows you mean it. Tell someone. If your parent or any child beat you or kick you after school, tell someone you trust in order to avoid the child abuse. Maybe someone asked me, why can I report child abuse? I'm facing with kind of child abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse. The old boy or the man I'm facing with after school, the other children try to kick me, say something about bad thing about me. the place where you can report the abuse. Who can tell me where you can report the abuse? Where? Okay, you should tell an adult you trust, someone you trust. You can tell that person about child abuse that's happening in your life. You can phone Childline to get help and to get support. Their number is 0800 55555. Their number is 0800 55555. You can get help or you can get support. You can report abuse to a teacher at school. Maybe other children treat you bad, say something not good about you, that feel that you can be that will come with the result of being ashamed about you, stress, whatsoever. Please report to teacher or to the school principal. Abuse should also be reported to the police. Someone beats you, kick you, every day you experience something hurts you, please report to the police. Okay, in a summary, thank you for paying attention for this lesson. I'm waiting for any question related to the topic or the lesson, child abuse. Any question, please raise your hand and ask any question related to child abuse or anything that's happening in your environment or in your community as a whole, in the school, outside and inside. Please ask any question. On top of that, I will encourage you as a learner to report any kind of child abuse. Report to any relevant, either adult you can trust, your teacher at school, the principal, call Childline 0800, as I mentioned before, report to the police. Please don't be quiet with the child abuse. Report, please report. Grade 5. Here is your classwork activities with the 5 questions. Please write down the answer for the following 5 questions from number 1 to number 5. Write down on your exercise book, respond and answer the following question as you instructed about child abuse lesson before. I would like to give you a homework on page 35 of your learner's book. Homework: read the following case study. There is a case study on that page. Please read that case study and answer the question follows after the case study. Read carefully. Case study is about boys experiencing child abuse. Please read that case study and have a look to the picture, what's happening on the picture, and after that answer the question as a group. Answer the question: what could you help this boy Make the list of ways to help him. In the picture, there is something called a child abuse. What could you do? What could you do to help this boy? Make the list of ways to help him. Thank you.